We're back. A little over a month ago we made a start on clearing the shed, playing around the soil a bit, ready for the slabs to go down so we could eventually bring the owner in. We've done away with that idea and decided to empty the shed next door, as this has electrics. It has electrics and a concrete base. So in today's video we're going to be rewiring the electrics and fitting two baton lights and some light switches. Fortunately for you guys, I have already cleared and organised the shed, so let me give you a tour and then I'll show you what we're going to be fitting. Just in case we get into any danger, which is entirely possible, we've got some nunchucks. Now I am what you'd call an expert at using these, believe it or not. So fucking. As you can see, I'm clearly an expert at using nunchucks, so do beware if you see me in public. Right, so this is what we've got. We've got some IP66 switches to replace the current ones, which are just standard house switches. We've got some mains cable, and we've got some 1mm 3-core cable for the lights themselves. We've got some screws to secure the lights and the board. We've got some clips to secure the cable so it's not just dangling around. We've of course got a fuse box, as we're going to be wiring it into a fuse box, as currently it just goes into a small junction box. And we've got the light itself, which is a 5-foot IP65, just under 7,000 lumen twin baton light. And then lastly we've got some tools. I spent just under £80 on the two light switches and the two baton lights, and because the last video earned 59p, I'm doing quite well, to be honest. But yeah, let's crack on. We'll start with the easy target, being the light switches. As you can see, the wiring in the shed is horrendous, but our first task is to replace this light switch. All the light cable goes into this junction box as well as the mains, so we'll be doing away with that at some point, but first we'll replace the light switch. So we're not going to be reusing this cable here, so we can move that out the way. There we go. So with the back plate for the light on, I'm now going to secure the back plate for the light to the timber. Alright. Right there. Can you see it, is the question. Bollocks. So that's the back plate for the light up. We're going to be putting another one just over here, which you can barely see. So I've put the other back plate for the light up. Now we're going to start running the cable through here to the other light, and then from that light to the light switch. Pulling it through, man, pulling it through. We'll go along here, and we'll go over. So that's our first cable run. And all the way through the light. And clipped along the timber. Can you see it? You can see it. With the lights now all wired back to the switch, we can go ahead and put the fuse board up. I've got a little bit of plywood that I had lying around. I'm going to pop up here, cut a little bit off, put the fuse board on here, plug socket. So then, this is my idea anyway. We could say, have this shelf as the charging station. I think it's a pretty good idea, to be honest. If you're wondering what all this cable is, it's Cat 5 for the camera system. I'm half tempted to rip it all out and start again, to be honest, because it's a mess. None of it's clipped down, it's just all sort of thrown in. But yeah, first let's cut this bit of board down. Right, so I've cut it the tiniest bit too short. So my new idea is chop a little bit of timber, screw it to the shelf itself, and then I can mount the bottom of this to the timber. Cock of that. So that's the plywood screwed on. So now for the fuse box, which I'm going to put about here. Do I want it here or do I want it there? Now I want it here. Can you still see that? Hopefully. I'm not aiming for perfection, I'm aiming for functionality, as it's only me that's going to see this. That's the fuse board up. I'm going to fit a back box for some sockets, probably a little bit lower down. I did already screw this on twice. I screwed it down here, then realised it wasn't on camera, then I screwed it up here and realised I didn't move the camera from when I moved it back. So, third time. I'm making a right mess of here. It's a little bit later on. We've connected both of the lights. They're all clipped on. And then on the fuse board, we've connected mains and the lights. So we can now test. We've got a light on a switch. Ta-da! And there we go. We've got light. Can you believe it? So, it's the next day. We've wired up the fuse board, added a plug socket, and added an extension lead. I only had the one plug socket, otherwise we would have had two beside for a bank of 6. But for the time being, I think it'll be just fine. Dan thinks it's a bit hillbilly having it like this, but it's functional, and to me that's the main thing. The box that was in the corner we've replaced. Still haven't done the cameras yet, so at some point the switch will probably go on this board. But as you can see, the lights do work. It's extremely bright in here. We could do with 2 more, perhaps as we expand that way, and that way we can add lights in there. But for the time being, it's going to do just fine. So up next, we've got to remove a few of the old cables that are left in place, and then we can get to work on supporting the roof. But yeah, that's that. Looks pretty good. There's always room for improvement. It's not perfect, but considering we're in a clapped out shed, that's pretty decent in my opinion. Sit wrap. I've screwed a plank of timber to this side, and now I'm going to knock this one out. Whether it holds it, I have no idea. No way. I could definitely move the roof quite easily, but look at all this room! I'm quite pleased with that. I'm quite pleased with that. Well, with the lights now all wired up and the timber supporting the roof, we're done. We've got a few bits to do, like recabling the camera system, a bit of tidying up to do. But other than that, we're done. Which means in the next episode, we are ready to pull Mona in and get to work. It's quite exciting really, considering what the shed looked like prior to me stepping in. It's pretty crazy, so I'm really pleased with myself. If you made it this far in the video though, thank you. I realise this has been a longer one. Well, it's been longer than I anticipated. So, if you made it this far again, thank you. Be sure to comment, like, comment, subscribe, and share to your mum, dad and your granddad to see what they think of sloth. So yeah. That's the end of the video. I'll see you in the next one, guys.
Hey, listen up, I've tried to tell you this 100 times. Not getting better by lying there pretending to cry. You on repeat, you can't see shit cause you have closed your eyes. You say you listen, but you're missing what it's all about. Rise up now. If you never fall, you don't change at all. Cry out now. Have you given up? I will never stop, yeah. I try to help you, but you keep reading between the lines. There's nothing there for you to complicate, we're not aligned. You say you listen, but guessing that's just another sign. Not growing up, you're growing old, your life keep passing by. Rise up now. If you never fall, you don't change at all. Cry out now. Have you given up? I will never stop, yeah.
Hi, how you doing? Today we're in the countryside. We're going to be looking at local houses and the effect that cars like this going by have the effect on them. Now we're living a day and age now where cycling is the way forward. That by 2030 everybody needs to own a bike. Nobody should own a car. and that is the way forward.